Hi Real Writers, this week we're going to look at how to polish action lines and description and things like that. This is 6 things for you to consider, and I'll put them up on the screen. The first one is there. Matching metaphors. This is important when you're describing something or it is an action line and you want someone to be doing something and you want it to make sense. You shouldn't say an explosion sounded, with a gust of wind, or something that's gentle, or something that's happy. That explosion laughs its way across a field, or blood sprayed up the wall with a gentleness to it. You need to match the metaphor. Explosions need to be fast and hard. Sprays need to be a spray. Spray is the word. You've got to say the word sprays, not the word the blood is applied to the wall. It sprays on the wall. People are hit with an impact, not hit with the caress of a pain. I mean, all that's going to do is make people think that you're trying to be overly novelistic. And the idea is to get someone into your script. Now, the expression a page turner, the reason something is a page turner is because they're keen to get to the next page. So you want to keep them absorbed in your work. You don't want them to sit there and go, how would a punch be a caress? That doesn't make, was it a gentle punch? Was it a push? Or was it an impact? So don't mix metaphors. There's a term for mixed metaphors. Don't mix your metaphors. Make sure that the metaphor is an exact match for what you want to do. If you want to get the idea of speed, it'll be spray, splash, dash, lightning. It'll be all those sorts of words. Don't mix them. Don't say, you know what I'm saying. I've run out of bad metaphors. Sorry. Don't double explain. Some people will have 2 really good sentences in their head to explain something. So they want to get both of them out. To say the door was a large, heavy piece of oak gives the idea it's a heavy piece of oak. Then they also say, well, I also like the idea of saying it hangs like a 1-ton curtain between me and you. So I'll say that. The door is a heavy piece of oak that hangs like a 1-ton curtain between you, and then I might go a third time, making it virtually impenetrable for me to get across to you. Too much. Just say it's a large, heavy door. That's all we need. Then if you want to see it's impenetrable, show that in action. If you want to know that it's me or you, do an intercut conversation. Don't over-explain, or don't double-explain. The next one is over-explaining. Over-explaining comes from when you start going, it's a 540 Ferrari. It's an F40 Ferrari, red, with the little yellow logo just on the side. He gets in the door, it slams. You over-explain all the action. He pushes down the clutch and finds first gear. He slowly lets it out till it finds the friction point. Then he starts to take off and it throws him back in the seat. That could all be just like he jumps into his Ferrari F40 and takes off with a roar. It accelerates like a jet plane. Bang, bang, couple of words. Don't over-explain everything. Don't talk about a rainforest, saying tall trees fight for the light. There is a moisture in the atmosphere. Green vines and lush undergrowth make it hard to go along. Birds can be heard in the distance, and clouds are hardly visible above the canopy. It's warm and it's steamy. Great for a novel, but not great for a screenplay. Short and sharp. Don't over-explain. Use the existing knowledge of your audience. This is something that people don't do. If it's a castle, just say it's a stone castle. And if it's like Game of Thrones, stone castle, whatever it was in the north, the one that the Starks used to have, Castle Stark. Large, black, the largest castle in the north. Gets people to understand it's the biggest castle there is. They'll either make it as big as a country or bigger than a normal castle, but we don't need to explain it all. It's just a big castle. We could say it stretches in all directions. Two more stretches in all directions. 4 more words. That's it. You'd have to go in the roughly hewn rock goes into the ground like eagle's claws holding it to the ground. No, you don't need to. Short and sharp, and rely on people. People know what a castle looks like. People know what a race car looks like. They know what the squeal of a tyre is. You know, he jumps into his Ferrari F40 and the tyres squeal as he flies away. They have to say they squeal like a hurt animal with a little bit of smoke issuing off each of the tyres. And too much. Just be sharp, be short, be sharp, be concise. Start paring them down. Take everything out and leave just the facts. And then if you really feel the need to be a bit over the top, add 1 word in. But that's it. Just be descriptive. Let that tell your story. Your action lines are not your story. Rely on tropes and expectations. If it's a horror film, there's going to be lots of things. People are going to know the mood of the room. You don't have to go over the top explaining that it's dark and it's dingy. It is a horror film. People get the idea of a horror film. You can say, what's the word? A room that's been left, what is it called? A desolate room, whatever. It's shabby. One of those rooms that might look like a hoarder's room. There you go. So a house that would resemble a hoarder's room. Garbage and debris everywhere. That's all you need. And that's a trope. People understand that there's dappled light coming through windows, that there's not much light in a horror film. It's not bright and shiny. It's not We Bought a Zoo. It's Saw. It's those sorts of tones. It's those sorts of focuses. It's those sorts of clothes. It's a horror film. Rely on the mood of the genre to set a lot of your action and descriptions. Think about your screen time. This is an important thing. If we have, bang, we see people walking through a rainforest. That's it. We've got these people walking through a rainforest. The rainforest itself is instantly seen, and it's the people walking. So, yeah, Craig makes his way through the rainforest. We know what a rainforest looks like. If you're going to have a beautiful shot, David Attenborough, Blue Planet, you could then describe an extra line. We drop down through a rainforest of vines, canopies and wild birds. We come in behind Craig, making his way with difficulty through the rainforest. That tells you the shot. We're dropping down and following him along. Bit like in Little Miss Sunshine. We track Olive as she runs towards the lounge room. So you could do those simple shots if you want to describe them. But again, 1 line. Think of how much screen time you're taking up with this description. You don't want half a page if it's not going to be lingered on. 1 page, if you think rule of thumb, 1 minute, that means roughly 60 lines. I think there are 64 lines to a page if it breaks up with scene headers. So let's say 1 line is 1 second. Think of that. Are we going to linger on the shot for 4 seconds? And that's a long time. And that's 4 seconds, roughly. Are we going to linger on a shot for that long of a door? So why would you have 4 lines describing the door? You probably wouldn't. So large oak door. Craig grabs the handle, pulls it open. That's all you need to know. So people can draw large oak door. For me, I feel that's a dark timber. It's probably not. Now, the other thing is, what is this line trying to achieve? A lot of people will write a line for the sake of writing a line. They want to appear to be cool or smart or clever or show off their writing chops. What is this line trying to achieve? This line of action, description, big print, whatever you want to call it. What do you want that line to achieve? Same as what do you want the scene to achieve? What do you want the page to achieve? Or that sequence? This line has to achieve something, otherwise take it out if it doesn't meet its goal. So you want to get across the vastness of a desert. Say that. The desert stretches in all directions. Heat haze. Done. The desert stretches in all directions. Heat haze. 6 words, not even a line. 3/4 of a line. Or the desert stretches in all directions. Or if you want to start with a shot, the sun beats down on a desert that stretches in all directions. There we go. So now we've got the sun's high in the sky. 1 line. That is 1 second, which could just be your establishing shot. What are you trying to achieve with this line? And the answer shouldn't be to prove how clever you are as a writer. It should be in service of the story. And this is when people say you've got to do everything in service of the story. And people go, what does that mean? What do you mean in service of the story? It means don't show off yourself. Writing a great story is you showing off. Serving a great meal is showing off how good the chef is. We don't get to see how good they are with a knife. We don't. Serve a good meal, serve a good story, serve a good screenplay. Every line should be as small as it can be and achieve what you want it to achieve. If a character is very flamboyant and very over the top and takes forever to do something, here's your time. Throw a couple of really flowery, colourful words in. If the person's very direct, all his directions could be 1 or 2 words, same as his dialogue. Yep, no. Steve sits. Very, very simple compared to Steve pushes at his chair, wipes off the cushion with his hanky and sits like a king in a throne. Completely different feel to Steve sits. Think what you want to achieve and think how you're going to do about it. I'm going to also just touch on titles are really important. Last week's video, which I thought was killer, was about writing assignments. It got 25% of my normal traffic. It was amazing. No one looked at it. Maybe it was the title. Don't know. Maybe it was the thumbnail. Don't know. But it's just interesting. Also think about your title and the image you're putting out there with your screenplay. Thank you to everyone who's been doing that. That is comments, subscriptions, everything's been helping. 20% off. Write a duet for you. I make no money from that. And we have the books. Logline, which will show you how to write killer log lines. And the next one, Tools Not Rules, which makes you a better writer. It doesn't tell you how to write, which is more important that you gain your skills to write your stories. And until next time, guys, keep writing.